It is Friday and we are 2 days away from the Super Bowl, and I am really, really excited. I cannot wait to watch the Super Bowl. I probably said this on every video that you have watched from me. I am an avid football fan. Really an avid sports fan. I do watch basketball and football. Go Celtics, go Colts, as you can see from my hat. But I love sports. I was not able to play them when I was younger just because my parents didn't really want me to be playing sports for different reasons. But I love, love, love sports. So I love watching them. I can't wait to watch the Chiefs and the 49ers play. I'm not really a Chiefs fan, so I will be rooting for the 49ers. And not for like the reasons that everybody else is tired of seeing the Chiefs. I don't really care about any of that. If Taylor Swift has gotten, more focus on sports, I think more females should like football. I love it actually. I could talk football all day, so more power to it. Don't have any problem with any of that. I just don't happen to like the Chiefs. So I will be rooting for the 49ers. I am a huge Christian McCaffrey fan. George Kittle is a hoot. I am rooting for Brock Purdy because he is, of course, Mr. Irrelevant. He was drafted last. So just to have him win the Super Bowl, and I think that would be a good storyline. Not that I believe that it's all scripted like some people think, but I think it would be just really cool to have, Mr. Irrelevant win the Super Bowl. So that I think that's really why I'm rooting for them to win. But I am kind of sad that we are getting to this point in the season because that means that once this game is over with, we won't have any NFL football until about Labor Day. So if I'm already counting when the next football is coming, I have been thinking about it. So yes, I am going to be sad, but I am ready for the big game. I already have my menu planned out. I know what I'm cooking. I do have to go to the store to pick up a few last minute things, but I'm going to fight the battle with everybody else that's getting ready for Super Bowl parties and all of that. And we're all going to be super nice to each other. I'm claiming that. But I am really, really super excited and ready. This hat is not because I'm mourning the fact that the Colts are not in the Super Bowl, although, yeah, I am. But the reason why I'm wearing this is if any of you watched Super Bowl honors yesterday evening, Dwight Freeney was inducted in the 2024 class of the Hall of Fame. I am so excited. I actually did not realize that he was not in the Hall of Fame. I'm glad they rectified that because, man, him and Mathis, they were like the favorites of mine when they played for Indianapolis. That team that had both of them on it was my favorite team because I call them sack fumble. I think I may have heard that them referred to as that before because, I mean, when you saw them coming towards you, they were going to hit you and they were going to knock your soul out of you, as I always say with those hard hits. And they were going to cause that ball to come out and it was going to be a fumble. Most of the time when Mathis and Freeney were coming at you. I did look up their stats, and so apparently, Mathis's first year on the Colts was 2003. And then Freeney's last year with the Colts was 2012, I believe. And so the duo in that time frame between 2003 and 2012 had 186 sacks. And that's not counting postseason. So it's like, hey, they had a reason to be feared. I wish we could get another line that included somebody that are two people that were on their level. But I'm just really glad that he is now in the Hall of Fame. I didn't even realize that Reggie Wayne was not in the Hall of Fame, but I was watching ESPN today and they mentioned that he is not. He will be at some point. There are a lot of people, a lot of times you hear, oh, they're not in the Hall of Fame, and you're like, what? But we know there are, some people we know and they know they are never going to be in the Hall of Fame. I don't think they have any intention when they were playing of even getting there because they know they're not on that level. But there are certain people that were just on that level that just are not in the Hall of Fame as of yet, but that's just as of yet. And Reggie Wayne was one of those players. Mathis is not in the Hall of Fame, as I mentioned. He is one of those players. But I'm glad that Dwight Freeney finally got in. So I was really, really excited when I was watching the NFL honors to see that. I did have some issues with some of the awards that got given out last night, though. Like, for example, the award for comeback player. They gave it to Joe Flacco, and let me tell you, to go from sitting on your couch to winning 4 out of 5 games in the NFL. I mean, Joe Flacco, he was a really good quarterback. So, but to be at home, probably not expecting to get that call, you get the call, you come in, you play that well. Okay, that's good. I mean, he deserves his accolades for that. But Damar Hamlin died on the field, came back, had a miraculous recovery, and then actually played in games. Now, did he play in a lot of games? No. And I didn't really look up his stats to see what his production was on the games that he played when he was back. But just the fact that he was even on the field at all, this man died on a field. And people will argue whether he should have even tried to come back. But the fact that he came back and played in any game, to me, that is comeback player of the year. And I know they'll say, well, they've honored him, or they've, talked about his journey back on other shows that have happened prior to NFL honors. I don't really care about that. That award, to me, comeback player of the year, if that's not comeback, I don't know what is. So I did take issue with that. And then I did take issue with D'Amico not winning coach of the year. And I get the arguments about why he didn't. The Browns, they had a difficult situation. They had Watson, and I'm not going to really go into the reason why that alone made the Brown situation difficult. I will say Watson was not playing at his Houston level. He was playing at some other level that was not Deshaun Watson. So that in and of itself was difficult. And then he ended up getting hurt. And then you just have the different quarterbacks that they had to go through. So I can get it. But D'Amico, to me, the fact that first-year head coach, they did as well as they did. And I'm saying that knowing that they kept us, the Colts, from going to the playoffs. I'm saying that the coach of the team that kept my team from going to the playoffs should have won coach of the year because they did so well. But the argument against giving it to him was that he had C.J. Stroud. And mind you, C.J. Stroud, Rookie of the Year award, absolutely deserved. Should that keep your coach from getting an award himself because you're an absolute phenom? You came out and you did your business, so that kept your coach from getting an award? I don't believe in that. I don't subscribe to that thinking at all, because the way that I look at it is CJ Stroud was good in college, but college, we all know college and pro football is not remotely the same. So you had to take this young man who was, again, understandably good in college and get him to a pro good level. And he was awesome, but it still takes coaching. Yeah, you couldn't go out on the field and throw those balls and make those plays and read those defensive schemes and make the things that he made happen. But you had to coach the boy. And so I still don't think that should have kept D'Amico Ryans from getting a coach of the year. But again, there's always going to be, when it comes to Hall of Fame and any of those awards that are given out during the NFL honors, or just any award that's given out for an NFL player, there's always going to be an argument for that player that got it and always an argument for somebody else. People may have had an argument against why Lamar Jackson got MVP. I would like to hear it because he needed it. No, he didn't end up in the Super Bowl. But if Lamar Jackson's play during this season was not MVP caliber, I don't know what was. Now, that last game, did Lamar Jackson play an MVP game? We could argue about that. There was more going on in that game that didn't have anything to do with Lamar Jackson. I think that is the reason why they're not in the Super Bowl. The man threw a catch to himself. I mean, if that ain't MVP, I don't know what is. There should have been an award that they just created during the NFL honors for somebody who threw a pass to themselves. When I saw that, I was like, I wanted to just keep watching it over and over again. I'm like, did you seriously just sit up there and throw a pass to yourself? But it was a really good show. Again, I was really happy to see the induction of my Colts player into the Hall of Fame. I'm really going to be happy to see more and more Colts players go into the Hall of Fame. Because we are not at the level that we need to be as a team, but I'm always going to stick with them. My hope was that Andrew Luck would have took us to where we have not been, in my opinion, since Peyton Manning left. But I do understand not wanting to be broken. You just going from that cycle of recovery, or getting injured, recovery, play, getting injured, recovery, play. The man wants to be able to walk and enjoy his children. So I couldn't fault him for leaving, but we have not had a decent quarterback since Andrew Luck. Possibly have one now, but he is of the, to me, Mike Vick, Lamar Jackson type player. He's gonna run. He is reckless and willing to make those iffy, reckless type plays, and he got hurt. So we will see when we have our quarterback for a full season if he's unable to, if he's able to rather stay unhurt, what we have. But what we got, it wasn't what we needed. And Minshew, he did okay. But I will digress. So yeah, but my team is not in the Super Bowl. But I'm excited to watch it. I will always be a fan of the game. Because I'm gonna watch. I watch the games on Sunday. I watch the game on Monday. I'm gonna watch Thursday, regardless of who is playing. I got NFL Sunday tickets, so I can put 4 screens up. The Colts ain't on all 4 of those screens, but I'm watching it because I love the game. And I'm going to thank my brother, Antonio Reddick, for that, because if my brother didn't make me watch some stuff I didn't want to watch when I was younger and trying to watch Pound Puppies, and I'm trying to hear some song, and I'm like, oh, there go my Pound Puppies. And as soon as the song go off, I'm watching something else, whether it's wrestling or some sport or something. But it taught me to watch some stuff other than some cartoons. And I do credit him for making me like sports. I do also credit those trips that I took to St. Louis during the summers when I was younger for making me like sports, because I actually used to be a fan of the Rams when I was younger, when I wasn't really following Peyton Manning. I was following the Rams and Marshall Faulk and Kurt Warner. And now that team was something else. But so I've been a fan of the game for a while. And I can sit up here and talk sports all day long. I would love, my dream job would be I don't have to be on ESPN or Fox Sports or any of these little shows where they probably make mad money. I would love to have a podcast where I could talk sports all day long. That would be like my dream job, and just pay me a little money. Of course I got to get paid because I do have bills, but talking sports would be like my dream. Love it, love it, love it. I can watch, I don't think my TV spends much time off of ESPN or Fox Sports during the day until we get to the nighttime hours where I probably watched everything they're already saying all day long. So I love sports. But that's why I am so excited about this podcast that I'm going to be doing with my close friend and family member from Tennessee. We both are looking forward to actually doing that. We're just trying to work out some logistics because of the fact that we are both from different areas. She's in Tennessee, I'm in Florida. So I've got to find a really good platform, and I've been asking for advice on that, and nobody's really commenting. So followers, anybody who just runs up on this video who is really familiar with doing podcasts from someone from a different area, we want to be able to be on video and have really crystal clear audio and video when we're doing our podcast. So I want to make sure before we start it that we get all of that worked out. Also, we are having to come up with a name for the podcast, and I'm thinking we're going to be doing it on a weekly basis. So I thought of the weekly dish with Vic and Chris, because that's a play on both of our names. Plus, if it's going to be weekly, I figured why not. But we're still in the planning phases. If anybody has any recommendations on a good platform for doing a podcast when you're in two different states to make sure you're still getting good video quality and audio quality, I've right now I'm thinking it's going to have to be Zoom because that's really a budget friendly option. I've heard that the video quality or the audio quality may not be superb, but again, budget wise, that's going to be one of the budget friendly options. If you have any other recommendations, maybe you're doing a podcast that way right now, I would appreciate those recommendations. Other than that, this weekend it's going to be pretty low key. I don't have any plans for Saturday, so most of that is going to be prep for Sunday for the game. Also, I will be, of course, spending time with God on Sunday. That's going to be of foremost importance. So I will be attending Beachside. I have been keeping up with my texts because, again, I mentioned before they have been sending daily texts, and I believe we'll be doing so for the duration of this month, just as kind of motivational things to do, motivational, devotional type things. Today's text was the morning prayer was about selfishness. And when I first read it, my thought was, well, I'm not selfish, so I don't have to say this prayer. But then I thought, well, don't do that. Go ahead and say the prayer anyway, because I think a lot of people who are selfish don't realize that they are. They think they're not. They have selfish tendencies that they don't even realize, and I don't want to be one of those people. I try to be selfless. I don't want to be anybody's fool or someone that's easily walked over or taken advantage of. But I try to be a selfless person. I try to do for others. I don't always do things with the expectation that I'm going to be getting something in return. If I can't do it where, if I can't give you money and not expect to get it back, I'm not rich, then, unfortunately, you're going to have to give it back. But I do try to do things for others without the expectation of a thank you or expecting something back in return. I don't try to do things just to say, hey, I did something for you. So I do hope to work on that if that's something that I'm failing at. And one of the ways that I have found that I want to try to do that is by giving to organizations that need help. So I am going to take this opportunity to plug again something that I mentioned in a previous video, and that is for Children in Crisis, an amazing organization that is helping children who need emergency foster care. They provide housing for the foster parents that take these children in, give them food, clothing, a loving home. Just try to give them also the message from God so that they can know that they're loved and that they're cared for. And I think it is an awesome thing, and it would be great to give to, because it gives the little ones among us who cannot take care of themselves a way to know that somebody does care for them, even when the people who are supposed to love you, who wear your blood, are not showing that they do. It may be strange for an absolute stranger to care more about you than your blood, but adults know that is not strange at all. A lot of times that is unfortunately the norm. So, I mean, to want things like condiments and spaghetti sauce and laundry detergent and fabric softener, maybe school supplies, a donation so that they could possibly buy school clothes for school age children, for the homes that they provide. They were needing updated refrigerators. Just what you can give, they would find as a blessing. And I know that this is probably, people find it cliche, but you'll be blessed. You do things for others. You probably get tired of hearing you're going to be blessed one day for it. But I think in this instance, it is true. You would truly be blessed for blessing these children who are being taken from the family that they know and love, who are hurting them, unfortunately, and being put with strangers that they're having to grow accustomed to, and trying to figure out, why is this happening? What's going on? Just giving them something to eat and make them feel comfortable. Maybe toys even would be helpful. Just, I mean, anything that you can do to support these children, I think is awesome. And the reason why it's touching my heart is because I have a friend that I worked with. Shout out to my friend Tammy. She was a foster parent, and I saw how hard it was for her, just because you're taking in a child you weren't expecting to take in, and you're loving this child, and that child is benefiting from that, and you're doing it out of the kindness of your heart. But it's always helpful to have somebody help you. And so, I feel like it would be something I can do, and I'm going to strive to do for not only this organization, but any others I can find that are doing something that is just this powerful for children. But in your area, if you're not from Northwest Florida, if you have an organization like this in your area that is helping the little ones among us just to be safe, why not? I mean, we can go to Starbucks, we can go to McDonald's, we can, spend it on things that mean absolutely nothing. Why not donate to an organization that is going to make sure something meaningful happens with that money? So that's my plug for Children in Crisis. If you want to donate to them directly and you are in Northwest Florida, you can look up the organization for Children in Crisis. Beachside Community Church is also taking the donations up until February the 18th for the organization. So you could do that directly to them. They're in Fort Walton, right off of Racetrack. I am also willing to coordinate with you to get donations for them if you're not able to. I am Christina Marie Johnson. I work with Caldwell Banker Realty in Navarre, Florida, but I am in Destin. So we can, like I said, you can give me a call. I can coordinate with you to get the donations to take to Beachside Community. I don't mind doing that at all. It's for an important cause. So I am going to get off here and enjoy the rest of my evening and try to relax after work and just cooking, because I had to cook. So I'm going to chill out and relax and just probably finish planning what I'm going to get at the store tomorrow for the game, and then watch a little television, probably some Big Bang Theory, because that's normally what I'm watching around this time. But I do want to say, as a ending to this, as I always say, if you know anyone who is considering buying, selling, or investing, I would appreciate you passing them my information. My business is referral based. So I do want to thank anyone who has referred me or given me an opportunity to refer you to someone in your local area by reaching out to me first. I am always grateful for that. If you have not been in contact with me yet, I will thank you in advance for remembering that my business is referral based. It is a self-employment type situation, because as a realtor, you are an independent contractor. So I ask because it is my own business, and I have to find a way to support myself and find my own customers. They don't find them for me. So I just ask that if you hear of anyone or if you yourself are looking to buy, sell, or invest, you keep me top of mind. You can reach out to me through Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, also on TikTok. I try to do interesting videos on any of those platforms so you get to know me, which is why this one was not real estate heavy. Because again, know me, like me, trust me. I'm a sports fan, so I wanted you to know that. But I want you all to have a good evening. Enjoy yourselves this weekend. And please remember, if you go to any Super Bowl parties or if you have any of yourself, be safe. I do want you to be able to be around to chat with me and watch my videos in the future. So be safe and have a great time. And I'll talk to you again soon.